Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. Once again, I'm gonna go ahead and create another video here. This video is based on creating an app with JavaScript and CSS and HTML. It's gonna be, I'm gonna start from fresh. So let me go ahead and start over here, my new window. By the way, guys, just so you know, I'm actually going to be using a transcript. I'm definitely going to be using my user agent. User agents are here to stay. It's like a calculator. The first time you use the calculator, you never stop using it. So yeah, they're here to stay. So I know that we need to take advantage of that, like that we can move forward and be amazing developers, coders, programmers, web developer, full stack developers, if that's your goal. I'm a passionate developer. I love to program. I love to code. This is very enjoyable for me, and this is what I'm planning to do for as long as I can. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science. I got my degree in. Actually, I finished in 2005, and for some reason they put it in the records that I finished in 2007. This is not my day job. I have a 9 to 5 that I go to. I did manage to get consulting gigs here and there as a programmer, developer, but they never really stuck. So um, I got myself a 9 to 5, a city job. I kept coding, but not as consistent as I wanted to because life, right? I applied almost every day for like almost 5, 10 years. Never really got a job in a full-time 9 to 5 job. But it's always been in my heart, and this is what I do, and this is what I'm gonna keep doing, because this is what I love to do. So TMI, if that's what you want to call it. Let's go ahead and start the project. Right now, like I said, I'm going to be using my transcript. Why? Because why not? Guidance is good, right? I'm not gonna hide it and put it on my second screen and read it, so then I could act like I'm a expert at this. I'm not by any means an expert, but I promise you that we're gonna get the job done. And I also promise you that the way that I research is a lot better than just watching a video that's going to take 5 minutes or maybe 2 minutes to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how you could do it yourself without having to constantly rely on videos. Okay. So at the end of the day, you're going to learn how to code and it's going to stick. It's just that simple. If you're looking for an easy way out, this is not the place. Eventually, I will be creating these short videos just for you guys to come in, get what you need and go. But you're always gonna come back for more because you're not studying, right? Yeah, sounds kind of weird, but whatever's the case, we're gonna go ahead and open up our terminal. The way you open your terminal is by pressing Control Backtick and VS Code. By the way, if you don't have an editor, I suggest you download Visual Studios. By the way, I do have a YouTube channel that you can go to, and I haven't finished this yet. I have to finish this. Anyways, you go to the YouTube channel and you can go to my videos. My YouTube channel is called, I was doing a little research here. My YouTube channel is called KP Dev Design. All right. Whatever's the case, this is the link. So now these are the videos. And if you want to learn how to set up um, VS Code, then this is a tutorial. All right. So this is the place to go if you want to learn anything. Okay. So, okay. So let's go back to over here. We're going to go to our new window. I believe this is the old window. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to our new window. So this is where we want to start the project. You start in a new window, all you have to do is go over here and a new project, I believe. Hmm. Why wouldn't okay, so you will click here actually. Start, right? New file, open. This is quite different. Let me see. Anyways, if I wonder why. So if I were to open a new window, let me see something. New window, new workspace from file. Yeah, I usually just start mine by opening up a new window, and that's what this is. You just go over here, click on new window, or you could right click on your over here and just right click here, new window. And once the new window opens, this is what you're gonna see. So in my case, I like working in the terminal. You press Control backtick and the terminal opens, okay? So now you want to go ahead and create a new folder. So you run this command in here. So you want to give it a name, right? So let's go ahead and, no, let me change it here. I'm going to call it my app. All right, my app 2.0 or 1.0. Over here 1.0, because I already done a couple of these already. So that's the name, and then we're gonna change it. CD change, right? CD means change directory. Control copy, and then just go here, put this in here. So now you'll see what this does. It's just that simple. Control copy, and then you go over here, and Control V, and press enter, and it shouldn't give me an error. So now in order for you to see if it actually went through, there's a command for that. I forgot what's the name of that command. I think it's LC, something like that. Well, this is where our guy comes in. Check direct. How do I check directory? Anyways, we go click here, and you'll see that it's been. Oh, I have to. It is in my directory. I wonder why I can't. Oh, so let's go ahead and open the folder actually. Yeah. Before there was like an option for you to click on files over here, and it would say create project or new project. For some reason that's not the case. We'll look into that some other time. But for now, let's go ahead. We created this in the program. This is my in my program execution file. This is where I have all my applications and websites and all that good stuff. For now, and this is the folder we want. We're going to select folder, and now we're in the folder. But here's the thing. Oh, okay, great. It opened a new window, by the way. So let me show you. Let's see how many windows I have open. Okay, great. It didn't open a new window. We still have, before, when you did that, it would open an extra window, and then I would have like 4 windows open. It happened to me a couple of times. I don't know why, but whatever's the case, we're in the folder that we actually created, right? So now, and we're in the actual folder. You have to be very careful. Sometimes you're not in the folder. Program, execution, whatever program exe, my app 1.0. Right. So now, the next step is to create. First of all, we could read the side notes. Now, this is notes that I put on my transcript like that. I can captivate what's going on, right? So this is side note terminology. Learn JavaScript is our working project folder. We implement everything in this directory. In our case, it's called my app 1.0. So now that this is created, I'm gonna go ahead and take my starter files. Let me press Control Z because this one is for another project. Control save. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna paste, I believe. Nope, I haven't. I'm gonna take my starter file. This is my starter file, by the way. And this is in a different project. I'm gonna take this folder. My starter files are in here. I'm gonna copy it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and paste it in here. So now I have my starter files. These are all my starter files. We're gonna go ahead and go through each and every one of these transcripts to eventually create the application that we want to create. In this case, we're gonna create a very simple application. It's the counter application that when you press a button, the counter, it doesn't iterate. What is that word? It increments. It's an increment function, okay? So you're gonna see what I mean. Again, guys, we're here to learn. I am by no means an expert. I do have all these years I'm doing this, but not consistent. So it's been a long time since I've coded, and here I am again. All right, so, and I'm just showing you how I'm learning. And if it works for me, it's definitely gonna work for you. You can always stick to your video tutorials. I'm gonna do the same. But this definitely helps out a lot. I'm gonna show you my triggers, the triggers that I use to make things easier. And that's definitely going to be a plus. Once you learn how to use the triggers and how to create your own triggers, it's going to really help out, because the thing is, every time you prompt the user agent usually changes up the response. Um, Sometimes he tries to keep it consistent and give you the same response, but sometimes he doesn't. The problem with that is that every time he gives you a different response, you have to learn a new response, right? A new way of doing things, which is not bad, but the triggers usually keeps it consistent. You see what I mean? I mean, I could give you a very small example here. For example, if we don't know what this means here, I could go ahead and use one of my triggers right here, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and say show triggers, right? Let's see if it has the same memory from the last project. I'm not sure if it does, but if it doesn't, we'll figure it out. It's taking a little longer than usual. What I could do is go over here and then put show. Yeah, there you go. He pulled all my triggers out. Great. I'm pulling the triggers list from your saved memory notes and will show the available trigger phrases in a compact checklist, right? Current triggers available from your saved notes. So these are all my triggers. I have annotated trigger. Well, annotate trigger phrase. So this is one of the triggers. Annotate triggers, okay? And these are the phrases that I could use to call the trigger or get the trigger. Annotate trigger. So let me see if I can find the actual. It's funny, before he used to give me the link over here. He doesn't do that anymore. Yeah. So let me just put here triggers so I could open the actual file. List triggers. You see, I have my triggers right here. So I'm gonna click list triggers. Let's see what he does here. I'll press enter. He should give me a table with categories of all my triggers. If not, then I'll just open the actual file itself. But he's supposed to give me a table. There you go. This is my trigger file. So in here, I have 17 different triggers. Now, the whole point of my triggers is that every time I tell him like, let's say over here, like we were here, and I was about to show you. No, this is the one that I don't want to use. I have two versions in here. I have setup JavaScript, and then tools and scaffolding on transcript. I prefer using the second one, this one, the one with the M, which means manual, meaning that we're gonna do it ourselves. We're not gonna let the user agent do it. Even though I call this actually vibe coding, but to me, the vibe coding that most people use is letting the user agent do everything. My passion is coding. I want to code. So yeah, I'm not letting him do everything. I'm gonna let him give me instructions and give me a manual, and then from there I do it myself and I learn. And now I could actually explain it to you, to whoever I want to explain it to myself. Fun, 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 right? So these are my triggers, right? So basically, and this is the trigger markdown file. So I'm looking for a specific trigger which has to do with a step-by-step trigger, right? So that's not it. Click path steps. That's the one I'm looking for. And the trigger phrase is beginner click path. So we're gonna go ahead and I prefer just calling it click path. What if I just add one here myself? But I'm not. Okay. I'll let him add it because this to me doesn't look like the part. This is human language, not computer language. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, like adding something here is not gonna make it work. This is human language. That's my assumption at the moment. So let's go ahead, even though I know this is human language. Duh. So again, let me go back to that file over here. So I want him to explain this code step by step. All I have to do is enter over here. First of all, you have to select it and then put the trigger in here. But I'm gonna make it as obvious as possible to my user agent. So I'm gonna choose it from the actual list over here, right? So it's beginner if it comes up, because sometimes it doesn't, but yeah, you see what I mean? So if I put here this, I don't know why it didn't come up. Wait, let me look at my triggers again. I think I'm looking for it the wrong way. I'm supposed to look for it. Yeah, that's the actual name. Let's see, beginner example, click path. Let's look for it in here. Capture, original, trigger, list triggers, clean, states, nope. Line by line. I think this line by line, CSS notes. No, that's not it. Expand, annotate. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's here. So why isn't it not coming up in my memory? Well, we'll look into that later. So let's go back over here and let's highlight this. And then we're going to use the click path, the beginner click path. Let me go ahead and paste it and then press enter. And it should give me direct instructions step by step of how to do this over here. Again, you go to YouTube and I'll show you. But the thing, like I keep saying, is 100 times better when you put in the hard work manually and you read versus just look using your eyes. Right now, we're using our eyes and we're using our hands at the same time. So it's called work. You got to put in the work, right? Practice makes perfect. Like, repetition equals experience. Listen to those wise words. Create a new project folder name, learn JavaScript. Oh, okay. That's because I rename it to my actual folder, which is called my app 1.0. Just create a new project folder name, learn JavaScript inside, right? So that's the task target. So he's basically reiterating, yeah, that's not easy to pronounce. He's basically explaining what the target is. The target is the selection, and that's it. So create a new project folder name, learn JavaScript inside this file location, right? Inside program underscore exe using VS Code on Windows, right? Then enter that folder in the terminal. Now, he's just explained this in words, okay? In human words. This is coding. Eh, same thing, almost. To me, it is. So, exact click path steps. So, in VS Code, click terminal in the top menu. Okay, so you click terminal in the top menu. New terminal, right? Let's click terminal. Yeah, let's click new terminal. So, new terminal. There you go. So, now it says here, in the terminal panel, click the drop down next to the plus icon and choose PowerShell or use the default shell. I'm going to stick to the default shell. That's fine. So then click in the terminal input area so the cursor is active. We clicked in it, right? Perfect. So now we need to type change directory, right? And press enter. So we're going to do that just for fun. for learning purposes, right? So CD, again, we don't have to type, I'll type for now. And then backslash, right? And program underscore, I think it's two of them. Yes, two of them. exe, and then he said press enter. Great. So now we're in this folder. And now it says type mkdir, whatever, mkdir, 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 right? And then type in the name of your project folder. We don't have to type in learn JavaScript because I just did that for learning purposes. Let's just name it my app number 4, whatever. And if you press enter, it's going to create that folder in here. Well, inside program EX. Right? So now that we understand how this works, right? How my triggers work, that was just a simple example. Matter of fact, let's just do it anyway. I'm gonna head and do it just so you can see what I mean. So then we're gonna press enter, right? Right? So it's created. So now we're gonna change directory. I'm gonna press tab. Nope. Let me go back. You're not supposed to press tab. You're supposed to press the forward arrow key on the keyboard. Forward, and now it prints that out for you or types it for you. And then you want to go ahead and change directory to the new folder that you created, which is actually, no, not that. You're supposed to put the actual name of the folder. You're already inside program underscore exe. So now you just have to put here my app and put the number 4, right? And then enter. And now you're inside my app number 4. So now you can go ahead and start building your application, right? So now what we need to do is add the appropriate folders that we need in order to create our application. Add the appropriate extensions, plugins. In this case, I believe is we need to add the appropriate server for, also we need to use node.js in order to add these packages that we're gonna add. I'm thinking about adding Vite. Again, that was just a short introduction of how triggers works, okay? So now you guys know how you're gonna learn in my video. So let's go ahead and keep going with this example. We're gonna go ahead and switch back to our correct location, which is, I'll just type it out. Over here, right here, I'm just gonna type it out. It's my app dot, nope, it's not that, it's dash 1.0. I'll press enter, and now, whoop, did I just create 2 of them? This is what happens when you don't pay attention. Hold on a second, I'm supposed to be here. What did I do? I just created a directory inside mkdir 4. Yes, I did. Let me see if I can right click here. No, I can't. Oh, I could just control and then click. Uh-oh. Yeah, I did create a folder in here. You see, that was a mistake. So let's go ahead and close this. That was just practical purposes. Now I know that I have to focus on what I'm doing. It's supposed to be my app again. My app dash and then 1.0. So now this is going to change directory. It's going to take me to this location. Now I'm in the correct location. So now that means that I can start building my application. First, I want to check, I want to verify if I'm in the right location, because that's the next step. After you create your folder, you're supposed to verify it. Even though we physically can see it that we're in the right location, but I just want you guys to practice the right the right steps. So how do I confirm that I am in the correct location? I should have asked them for the command. What is the command? What is the command to confirm that I am in the correct location? I might have had some typos in there, maybe. Maybe not. Oh. This shouldn't take that long. Oh, get location. That's not the one I'm used to using. Wait, let me highlight this and then he'll understand. After running this command, we usually run another command to check, to verify that we are in the correct folder, right? This can become quite lengthy when you don't get the answer you're looking for. In PowerShell, this concerns your current path equivalent full command. Let me just do this. pwd. I guess that's it. You see? The most similar command is pw. Oh, I'll put we. Enter. Okay. So let me just. I think it did it already. pwd. Yeah, it did do it, but show. No, I want to show. Okay, so I think this is it. No, I want to see what's inside my current folder. And then I'm gonna put here, what's the command? Even though he's smart enough, you could have just left it like that and he would have figured out what you mean. Oh, there you go. You know, guys, I definitely feel like a beginner right now. Definitely feel like a beginner. So dir, so simple. Yeah, they didn't show that lists everything inside your current folder. It didn't show what's inside. It's supposed to show me a list of what's inside, such as my starter folder. So let me give them a control print screen, and I'll put no, it didn't. No, it did. It did not. Let me just put it did not. And then I'm print. I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna give him the print screen. Okay. Split. Oh, well. So I'm putting him to work in very basic coding. It ran, but you are currently in right. So that directory show contents of the folder, not. But who says that I'm looking into JavaScript? Use this exact sequence. PW confirms location. Directory shows all items, including hidden ones. If CD fails, run to verify whether. But I'm not. Yeah, he's confusing it. I'm not working in JavaScript. I'm not working in here. I am working in my dash app dash 1.0. Hey, he's reading off of this. I should have changed this. So perfect. Then your command should target rank. So I did that already. Oh, okay. So I think the problem was that I was supposed to run these commands all at once. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. For your transcript, the equivalent folder block should be, yeah, of course. Let's run this command and hopefully I get what my desired this result. Nope, still not my desired result. This is missing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna refresh my VS Code. No, I'm supposed to press Control Shift P. Reload. Let me reload it. Reload my window. Probably is not. Probably is not. Yep, I reloaded it and it's still not showing my starter folder. Let me print screen again. It is still not showing my starter folder. There's definitely something going on here. I'm not sure why it wouldn't show my starter folder. It's just a little weird. He's gonna go ahead and check the exact current terminal path and list only directories so we can confirm whether it exists at that location if you're in a different copy of mine. Yeah, I think that's the problem. I told you guys when I first told you guys that sometimes it opens a new window and then I'm in like a different location. I checked the terminal states directly. You are currently right, and the starter folder does exist. Use the exact command, Skeleton. Oh, well, obviously that's gonna work. That's for sure because this is, I think this is direct PowerShell commands. I'm using like normal CMD commands. If starter still does not appear in your view, you are likely running commands on a different terminal. What the? In that terminal run? Oh my god! Seriously, this is too funny. This is too funny. Guys, I don't know if I should just give up on this. This is so simple. Anyway, I took more than what I should. Control copy, Control V. Yeah. So let me show him what's going on again. So if starter does not appear and you are likely running commands in a different terminal tab. So this okay. Set location. So let's do this then. Because obviously I'm in a different terminal. I probably could just close it and Control V. Nope. I'm gonna close this terminal. I'm gonna delete it actually. What does it say here? Process ID. The following section wants to relaunch the terminal to contribute to its environment. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this. Isn't there a button here to delete? What happened? I'll just close it. So I'm gonna press Control Shift Backtick. I think that opens a new terminal. And now I'm gonna run the commands that. There you go. Yeah, I was no wrong. So now let me run the simple commands. This is like more Okay, so showing the folder and all the files that I have located. This is more or less what I was looking for, but this is a lot more deeper information than I was expecting. Though I like what I see because it's something new to me. I don't think I even ran this in the past when I used to code almost every day. Oh, let's see. Yeah. So let me go ahead and just go all the way to the bottom. And I'm gonna run the simple commands. That doesn't show. How about directory? Nope. All right, I'm done here. All right, guys, we learned something new today. Sometimes you don't get the expected output, and sometimes it's taking longer than what expected. I'm gonna give them one more chance, and then after that, I'm done with this. Directory is supposed to show what's inside my directory. Right? I believe that's what it's supposed to do. So the get child commands worked. Child item commands worked, but dr is not showing what's inside my project folder. Let's see what he says here. Let me see how my tokens are doing. 3%, not bad. You are right. This usually means one of these two things. You are running directory in a different terminal tab than the one your directory alias function is overridden in that shell section. Run this exact one line check in the same terminal tab. If that does not list test alias resolution, reliable fallback, get, if you want, I can give you a tiny terminal sanity check command block. So you can paste anytime to confirm path plus. No, I'm not going that far, guys. I think we're doing pretty good right now. So let's go ahead and move forward. I'm gonna go ahead and close my command or minimize it. And then I'm gonna go to the next step. Again, this says here our work in project folder. We implement everything in this directory. So now we have to make sure that we have the prerequisite of node.js. It must already be installed on the machine, so npm is available in the terminal. So we can actually go ahead and check to see if we have npm. And one of the ways you do that is I'm gonna clear my terminal. I'm gonna press Control C. Didn't clear my terminal. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and run. I'm gonna go ahead and run. Check the version of Node. So all you have to do is type in the command node -v, press enter, and we do have node, and then we're gonna check to see if we have npm. Let me see, is it? Yeah. Press enter, and we do have it also. So we good on that end. If you guys are wondering what node is, you can go to node.js over here. Node nodejs.org, and you want to go ahead and click on download. And when you click on download, you want to click on this button here, which is the long-term support version. You don't want to get the latest, the most recent release, because the most recent release tends to have a bug or two, and it's not only node.js, it's basically any application that you download the most recent um update, they're usually buggy. So it's not known that only has that problem. So you want to go ahead and download the um long-term support, right? And then just follow the follow the instructions. They're very self-explanatory, and you're not going to have a problem at all. I feel like I need a break. But so once that's installed, and all we need to do is run npm. Here are some research terms. You can research project root directory, main folder where project files and configs are stored, working directory and terminal, current folder where terminal commands execute. So he's talking about the terminal over here. That's what we're gonna be using to create our files and do some other things, updates and create and delete folders, whatever it is we need to do. I'm gonna go ahead and do it in the terminal. So source folder convention. So that we're talking about the source folder right here. The source folder, this is where our main files are going to live, such as JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. So standard source-based project organization pattern. We go ahead and do a little research on that, but all you need to know is that that's where JavaScript's going to live. Then you have npm init. These are the commands that we're going to run. Now these commands are going to create packages, and the package that we're gonna actually it's gonna install the server, the parcel server, initialize project and scripts, and it's gonna initialize it. So let's run the first one first. That's what I want to do. I think it's best we run the first one. This shouldn't take that long. So what this did, you see, yeah, that's definitely a problem here. Let me see. Yeah, this is definitely a problem here. This happened to me before. Let me X this out. Let me refresh this. You see? It's not, this terminal is not working with this project. Ah, wow. People, you need to pay attention to what's going on. Look what I just did, right? I just changed my directory and now I'm in here. And when I ran the npm init, which initializes the folder, and the way that it does that is by creating a manifest, which is you'll see the manifest. Let me show you the package.json. By the way, I'm just going to change directory once more. I'm in the wrong directory. Yeah, let me click here. Nope. Let me look. Yeah, I'm going to have to right click here. Okay. Nope. Right click here and go to Review in File Explorer. And I'm going to go here and then copy this, X this out. I'm gonna press CD for change directory and then V, Control V to paste. Press enter, and now I'm in the correct directory. Now we're gonna run the npm init to create our package.json. Control V. So now should, there you go. This is our notepad. This is our package.json, and this is where our dependencies are gonna live. And dependencies are very important. This is where we're going to run certain scripts to be able to run our server, such as parcel or vite or vite. We're going to give it a specific script. So like that, we type in a specific command here instead of having to type the long version command. You see what I mean as we keep moving forward. Guys, I will be right back. Give me 2 minutes. All right, guys, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. Let me comb my hair. If it matters. Hopefully, I'm not lagging. What does it say? It says that I'm at 6,000 kilobytes per second. My FPS, frames per second, is 60, so looking good. Hopefully, it's not lying, because I did see a little lagging. Let me check my mask camera. Still looking good. My fingers see them. All right, so the next step on my transcript is, where am I? Let's see. First, I gotta click here. Is npm package set name equals, nope, that's not the name. So I have to change this to my actual my app. Right? That's the name of the project folder. My app 1.0, and that's it. So that's going to be the name of the name of the app. So we're going to set the name to my app 1.1, and then up here I'm going to change it here also, just for practical purposes, right? Practice makes perfect. So there you go. We'll go ahead and press Control Save, Control F. And again, I know I read this before, but I just want to give you guys a little tip here. It says here Node.js must already be installed on the machine, so npm is available in the terminal. If you get an error here, it has to do with your environment variables, not exactly your environment variables, but let me show you what I mean, just so we could be on the same page when I say that that is not exactly environment variables. Let me see if I could type in here environment. Nope, it's not gonna come out if I type it in here. So we got to go to control panel. There you go. And then in here we're gonna search for environment variables. I'm sure it'll come up if I just type in here. There you go. Oop, what happened? Here. Let me see. Okay, so this is your environment variables. You want to go to environment variables over here. Now, it's either your user account or your system account. Or I think the term is not account, but you know what I mean. Your user would be your local user account, and system would be system wide, meaning all the users are gonna get these variables. What are variables? Well, that's what they are. They're files that the computer can then read and write. In this case, user, it would be only me, KP Dev, has read and write permissions to these files. See, you have here npm. If you go to path, I believe it's in path. I don't want to mess around too much with this because you make one little. So here's npm. You make one little edit and it could mess up a lot of things. So app roaming npm. See, because this is in here. This is why I'm able. I mean, I believe I'm correct. Let's double check that with my with the user agent, like that. You guys know that I know something. That I know what I'm talking about. So npm, right? So this just means that I'm able to run commands or to go to that specific place, which is the npm folder, where I can get what I need in order to get the results that I want, right? In this case, it's these commands. So let me tell him, I'm gonna go ahead and print. I'm gonna go ahead and display, give him a printout or a copy or paste a copy of what the print screen, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and ask him if there is an error with with running npm commands in the terminal, does it have some type of correlation? I know how to spell that. Correlation with the environment variables. Variables. Yeah, it's like it is like I forgot to spell variables. Supposed to have an A somewhere on there. Jesus. All right, that's embarrassing. Anyways, he should be able to figure out what I'm saying. If there is an error with running npm commands in the terminal, does it have to? No, stop. I just want you to answer me. No, I don't want you to check. See, I could have asked, matter of fact, I'm not gonna waste my tokens. I'm gonna go ahead and copy all this, and I'm gonna go to Google, and then I'm gonna type this in a new tab. I'll paste it, right? And then he's gonna correct my errors, my typos. I'm a terrible speller. Yes, errors when running npm commands in the terminal are frequently correlated with environment variables. I don't think I should go any further. I was correct, and that's what I mean, and that's my point. So I got my point across. So if you guys are having issues with this and your npm is not working, it has to do with the environment variables, meaning that you don't have this terminal VS Code does not have permission to run those commands. That's all. So you can fix that with a simple Google search. I'm sure there's a one line code that you enter in the command and it fixes that. So if you guys want that information, you can always put a comment in the down below in below around the description area around there, and I would love to make a video about that. Yeah, this looks like it's gonna take you a while to find that specific one-liner command that I've used in the past. It's in one of my videos. I believe is in the VS Code installation video at towards the end. It's going to show you that once you run that command, you're never going to have that problem again. Anyways, so the next step here is going to be we're ready. No, I just changed the name. So now I could run this command. Control copy and Control V and then enter. So now we set it to true private. Now if we go to our package.json, I believe this is where we set it to private, didn't we? Yeah, private equals true. So what this means is when we are going to put our beautiful, amazing, excellent site to live, basically to host it, right, in the internet, and we build our production, which is going to be in the distribution folder, and then we give it to, like, let's say a hosting service such as Hostinger. We don't want to publish it in the no package manager server, if that makes sense, right? So when we run npm build, we don't want it to build it towards the actual npm server. only to build it into, make a distribution folder. That's all. Something like that. But it's definitely has to do with that. So again, if you guys don't believe me, we're gonna go ahead and ask them to explain this, and then like that we can be on the same page, right? So all I have to do is right click here and put explain, right? Click explain. So he's reasoning. Okay, so the private field tells npm whether the package is allowed to be published to the npm registry, not server. Setting it to private is a safety switch used for app projects, not reusable libraries. Basically saying this is not a reusable library. It's not full of files that you could use or to to create a specific application, plugin, extension. Those are not the right terms, but what it means is do not upload it to the registry of npm, right? So it stops accidental npm publish, right? So accidental npm publishes is blocked. One important fix: it should be a boolean, not a string. Yeah, that's true. So use true instead of yeah, but this is what happens when when they don't update certain parts of the program. In this case, the program we're talking about is npm. npm hasn't updated this. That shouldn't be set as boolean. Now, why they haven't updated? That's another question to be had or spoken about. The correct form is private true, which tooling and schema validators recognize properly. Jeez, I got my air conditioning blast towards my face now. I feel like my voice is giving out. So basically, we need to this should be a boolean. Right now, it's a text, and I believe we don't need anything else there. All right, so let's move forward. Right now, I have to move this air conditioner. It's driving me crazy. Try I don't mess up my $1 million studio. One phone, Samsung S25 Ultra. All right, so what's the next step here? I'm gonna go ahead and switch it up and go ahead and copy this over here and paste it in my terminal. Open. So 2 for 0. I got it right twice. Except my yeah. You're in good hands. Don't worry about it. We'll get it done. So again, this is npm package set script.start parcel index.html. First of all, I don't have parcel installed. So I wonder what eventually we're gonna install it here. This is where we will install it. All right, cool. So basically what this does here, that command right there, what it does is that it creates a script which makes parcel index.html. All we have to write is npm start instead of writing, I believe, all this stuff here. All right. And this is a key value pair. So this is the key and this is the value. So once you enter the key, you're gonna get this value returned. That's gonna be the command that it's gonna run. Again, it's I think it's a great explanation for modest beginners for us. So let's move forward. You see what I mean. Okay, so what's the next step? Next step is npm package set script. Whoa. Didn't we just do, oh no, this is for the build. This is when we build in our application so we could um so we could set it up with a host provider such as Hostinger. So we're gonna run this command. I believe I already I'll press V. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and press enter. You know, it's funny how the quotes are there. Just it was here and it worked, but it shouldn't have quotes. So I'm gonna take them all. And now I should press enter. Wait a minute. Yes, it does. It needs the quotes. There you go. Enter. Okay, great. So now let's double check once more. And we have the build script. Great. So now all you have to type is npm build instead of parcel build index.html. All right, cool. So the next step is, so here's a side note. Always read your side notes. Always read with your chat panel. It's explaining your user agent. Always read this, because what happens is if you don't read this and you just skim through it and then you go into your code editor, you're gonna miss out on a lot of key points. And what I mean is, since I work with transcripts, this is transcript that we created, my user agent and me, we created this transcript so I can study and research the subject matter. In this case, we're talking about installing and configuring our VS Code so we can then create a website, installing the dependencies and the correct extensions, applications that we need. So he built this transcript for me based on my prompt. However, sometimes I notice that I'm missing key points, or I want him to add more information. So I type the prompt in here and he then updates the transcript, but then he explains everything in detail as to what he did here. But those details that he explained, he does not put it in here. So I go straight to looking at my transcript and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't understand what's going on. But as soon as I read everything he put here, it makes a lot more sense, because he gives a lot of instructions in here. So keep that in mind. So now, what do you do here, right? I already read this, and we're here now. We're not here. So where was I going with this? Let me go over here. We ran all these commands. Okay, we're here. Side note terminology. A script in package.json is a name command alias. npm run start executes the value of scripts.start. So that's dot notations. So it goes from scripts, which is here, scripts, and then it goes to start, which is here. So this is what dot notation is. If you guys want to understand how that works, like for example, you could either be like explain, or you could use one of my triggers. And let's try one of my triggers just for learning purposes. Right? So we could do expand. Now this one's cool. It's uh, it's a little lengthy. I don't know if you guys are ready for this one, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So expand bullet, right? Here we go. Now he's gonna expand it on the chat panel, but I want him to expand it on the transcript. Okay. Please put results in the transcript in D5. All right, let's see how he does, because he's been a little lazy. He hasn't been putting my information in the transcript, the information that I asked him to fetch. He's been putting all my information in the chat panel, which I don't mind much, but sometimes I really do, because I want all my information. I want to take it with me wherever I go to some, make it mobile. But that's not really why. I just enjoy working with what I've built. And I think that I have a lot to do with what I built here between him and myself, right? Versus when he puts it here, it's like, okay, it's there. But as soon as you start putting more prompts, what happens? It gets left behind all the way up here. You go right click here and then copy everything. Yeah, that's fine. But that's not what I'm looking forward to. So now basically, so before I click keep, right, I want to make sure, I want to see, this is where the we comes together, right? Now I'm gonna go ahead and vet it, the results that he gave me. This is where, we take part, or I, based on the prompt or my prompts. So I'm going to insert a full expand it block directly in your transcript under the script.start line following your prompt, exact 7-part structure and labels, right? So he says here, done. I inserted the full expand it block directly under the script.start side. Note in your transcript and follow the required structure. So divider plus label header. Wow. Oh yeah, this is the divider plus header label. Original one-line bullet preserve. Not sure which one. Original one bullet preserved. Okay, whatever that is. Let's just keep going. So all 7 parts in order require phrasing label line, verdict table with accurate row base metaphor and warning rows and trailing notes blockheads. So if you want, I can apply the same expansion pattern to script.builds next, so both scripts lines are matching styles. I'm going to have and click keep because he passed the test. The vetted, he passed the inspection, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to go ahead and click keep. So now I'm gonna close this, have some space to read the results completely. This was just a synapse of what he did over here. So now let's go ahead and read the expanded trigger that I've been speaking about. That this is what I used to learn. This is what we're gonna use to learn how to code, right? Why? Because even though we're not coding at the moment, we want to make sure we understand the terms and the code itself. Once you understand the code, then the hands-on approach is going to be so much easier because you know what you're doing. The hands-on approach can only work for so long. Like, let's say it'll work for you if you're going on to an interview and you want to, like, just get it right, barely, fine. But you're going to learn what you're doing at your job if you get hired after the practicing. And typing is not the only way. You're gonna get help from your coworkers. You're gonna get help from the documentations that all these jobs they're able to give you these documentations, obviously, because they're gonna set you up with a new workspace, whatnot. And then the constant typing and repetitive motion of creating these apps. Then you're gonna learn. But in this case, I got 9 to 5. I gotta go to work. Then when I come back, then I start, doing this stuff. And eventually my research will get me back to the pace where I was in the past, or I'll learn something new. So script.start. So we just expanded how it works. Script.start. So again, people, the whole purpose of the trigger is so we can get this consistency. You can ask them to explain it, but then you're gonna be like, "Oh man, I want an example." Boom, here's the example. You don't have to type it again; it's already here. Hey, I want to use this. I want to do a live example. Boom, it's gonna show you how to do it in a specific sandbox. Though for some reason he didn't add it here. Oh, that's because I didn't ask him to. Well, I'm gonna run that script eventually, to create a sandbox example. So basically, we're gonna create a sandbox and we're gonna code it, and then it's going to show us how to physically do it ourselves. Anyway, so this is how it works, right? Script.start is the command key npm looks up when you run npm run start. In this project, it launches parcel and dev mode with index.html as the entry and opens the browsers automatically. This keeps the startup command consistent for anyone working on the project. So in package.json, we're going to look for this line of code. That's what this means. In package.json, right, we're going to look for this line of code, which is right here, right? So if you look at it, right, start and build. Start and build, okay? So if you want to, like, you know, understand what he's trying to say, you could go to the actual file yourself and look at it yourself so you can see and verify yourself. So again, he puts a comment here. So this means intent run local dev server from the HTML entry, and then build intent generate production ready output. Run local dev server from the HTML entry. In this case, I think he's talking about HTML entry here, okay? Great. So now let's go ahead and see what use like this on run scaffold has for us. Not sure why run scaffold is there, but let's read. So why this choice? Basically, why did we choose this? Right. So he explains putting the command behind script.start, right? Which is here, putting it behind. Putting start, here. Avoids memorizing long CLI commands, right? I believe it is command line interface, CLI, right? Command line interface flags, and makes onboarding easier. It is also standardized local startups, so every contributor runs the same behaviors instead of custom command variation. All right. So that's self-explanatory. So here's the side note terminologies. Here's this side note script alias. In npm docs, these are package.json scripts, and the start is the script name. You know, that's pretty simple, right? That's the name of it. That's the key value. That's the key. Oh, okay. So side note entry file. Index.html is parcel's entry point here. Is parcel's entry point here. So linked JavaScript and styles are discovered from that file. It's parcel's entry point. Okay, great. So phrasing on camera. So this one is very important. I want you guys to pay attention to this because phrasing on camera, what it means is like, how would you put this in a sentence? Basically, these terminologies that we're learning, right? Because once you learn a word, you have to learn how to use it correctly. In other words, this is not only a word, is the specific term that developers use when speaking. And it's also the code that you use to run these commands, right? So I'm gonna right click here and I'm gonna click print current document to HTML. And what that does is it's gonna it's gonna create an HTML document. And we all know what HTML files do, right? They create pages or a website. So this is basically a website without a navigation menu. So we're gonna go ahead and right click open with live server. And now it's gonna open up a browser. So now what you see here is actually what you see here and what you see here. All this that you see here is in here. So this is what markdown files are excellent. This is where they come very handy, right? Why? Because you take all these notes that you wrote down here and it makes it look perfect. Now this part is amazing, that the code looks like code. Now you try and do that in one of these. Good luck with that, buddy. It's not going to be easy. You try and put code to look like this. It styles it, and it gives it identical colors as the actual um, code inside your VS Code. It makes it look as similar as possible, right? So great. So now that you know what an MD file is or how it works, yeah, right. Now we're gonna go to the place, the section that I want you to understand based on my learning tips and how we're going to research and master doing these coding, right? We're gonna be excellent coders. Let me drink some water. So now, phrasing on camera, right? Again, like I told you, this is the way that you would put these codes or code snippets or commands into a sentence. So script.start is the npm script entry named start in the package.json. This is spec accurate, matches npm script terminology and command lookup behavior. Now you might think to yourself, this is pretty simple. Yeah, it is very simple. But for you to make things up, you're wasting your time. Do not recreate the wheel. Get the correct answer. It says it right here, spec accurate. And if you don't believe your user agent, then Google it. You know, do your vetting, vet it. I already vetted it, and I am confident that this is spec accurate. And if it's not, oh well. Now I learned not to trust my user agent as much as I do. But whatever's the case, I vetted it, and I believe this is perfect. Or so he says here scripts.start, which is dot notation. He's basically speaking about, the start key. But script.start is the npm script entry named start in the package.json. So if you look at it, package.json, right here, it's named start, and it's the npm script. This is a script within the script block of code. This is a script, right? Named start in the package.json. That's it. Now here's the thing. He gives you a variety of different ways of saying it. And then he gives you the wrong way of saying it. So this is another way that you could say it. And it reads, this is our project start command for local development. This is our project start command. So this is the command, right? So it says design system role based describes team workflow row clearly. Okay, so this is our project start command for local development. Yeah, that's what it is. This is start command. That's what it is. All you have to do is put npm in front of it. So you would think like, wait a minute, but it's not complete. Where's the npm part? We're talking about the start command. We're not talking about the actual, you know, I believe npm would be like the helper, but whatever's the case, you can't run npm commands without that prefix npm. So here's another one. Think of it like pressing a start button that always runs the same launch sequence. Now, this is user friendly, viewer friendly. It's a metaphor, intent driven language. Then he gives you the misleading or the wrong way to say it. Script.start installs dependency. It does not. Dependency install is handled by npm install. And then here's another wrong way of putting it in a sentence. Start means production build output. No. It says here misleading production output is handled by script.build. All right. So this is the section where it teaches you how to use it in the correct sentence. All right. So here, and then after that, it comes with a note. Now this is all based on my trigger that I put in here. Okay, which was this one, expand bullet. This is a trigger that we created together. You don't have this trigger. You just don't. There's a way for me to obviously give you this trigger, and that's the intent. But I think I want to have a couple of subscribers and likes. That would be really nice. And then I'll start putting it up on my YouTube page. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just put it up anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna put all this information up there anyway. It would be nice if somebody comments, hey, I want this. And then obviously give me that motivation, though. We're gonna be good. Don't worry about it. We'll be there soon enough. So now we have the note, right? npm start is shorthand for npm run start. When a start script exists, so basically npm start is shorthand for npm run start. Okay, so you can use both versions. But using npm run start is often clearer for beginners because it reveals the script lookup pattern. Yeah, exactly. So it's clearer because it's almost in a sentence. npm run start versus npm start. Okay, great. It's not a sentence, but whatever. I'm not a literature expert, and I do have this is my second language, by the way, so excuse my English. I'm doing my best. Thank you for watching. So, research terms, right? So these are terms you should research. This is also part of the of my my trigger. Okay, so research terms, npm scripts package.json, right? This command aliases defined in the script object. So research term, npm scripts package.json, npm run versus npx. This one I think you should definitely research just because it's a new terminology and you don't know what it is. So you should look it up. Based on my experience, this is the legacy way of running an application. So difference between running scripts and package binaries. Okay, there it is. This is packaged binaries. So yeah, look into that. I'm not gonna go as far as researching this because it's I just don't use it at all as of right now. In the near future, I would love to though. So package.json fields explained. So purpose of name, private scripts, and dependency. You should look that up. This I think is very important. Most likely more important than this one right here. It'll probably lead you to the same information since all this is inside the package.json. So install runtime package and npm install. So this is our next step. This is where we're gonna install the GSAP swiper 3. So let me look again. I prefer looking at this information in my VS Code like this, just because we're geeks like that. I think you should feel the same way. Geeks love to see this stuff in this type of color palette, which is black and white text. Turns this on. I don't know. I like it. Like this. All right. So now there's another trigger that I want you guys to see, which I think is very cool, though I think it's going to be a little challenging, but even for the user agent, but I'm going to run it anyway. And it's okay. So there's another thing that I have here. This is my notepad. Now my notepad has information that I use in a constant basis. Did it edit this or not? I think it's over here. Oh, this ain't it either. Now, one thing about these these new notepads is that you keep creating these new notepad tabs, and it just keeps going. I think I have like 100 tabs open right now. So, and now for me to look for what I'm actually looking for, it's not gonna be an easy task. It could be if I actually, let's do this like this. I just tab it up like this until I find it. Here it is. It was that easy. I just, yeah, maybe I'm tired. So what I'm looking for right here, right? So I'm looking for a specific trigger. Now, these are the main triggers that I suggest you guys run on anything that you don't understand, such as code or be it a sentence that you don't understand. These are some of the ones that you should run. I think it should involve coding, not just a paragraph. If you want to break down a paragraph, I'm going to show you. I already showed you what trigger to use. Is the um step by step. Let me see which one was it. Beginning something. Let's look for it. It's this one. If you want to break down a paragraph or a text, huh? Let's show triggers. Where are you? If you want to break down a paragraph, and I know we already did this, but just in case if you forgot, you want to use this one. Beginner click path steps. A paragraph most likely, or should I say this expansive selector? Yeah, it's this one, a paragraph. It's this one. It's definitely this one. Sorry about that, guys. I've been doing a lot lately, so it's definitely this one. Hmm, right here. So if you read the description, concept expansion. Expansion selected concept line into deeper spoken, friendlier teaching, optionally with compact code. If it has code, then I'll give you a compact example of that code. All right. So this is what this is the magic of triggers. All right. So now I'm looking for a specific trigger, which is this is in here. So I already ran the expand bullets. Now we're gonna run expand terminology. So let me show you how this one works. This one is also a very good one. I was gonna skip um to Sandbox Recipe, which is the one that gives you a challenge, so then you could do it on your own. So we're going to run expand terminology, and let me make sure I have the right highlighted text. In this case, is this one. Let's just highlight this one. Expand terminology. I should have ran them both. Matter of fact, I'm gonna run them both right now. The other one, which is well, let me just press tab. The other one, which is Sandbox Recipe. So Sandbox Recipe, press over here. Yep. Press tab, and I'm gonna just put a plus. Now, like I told you guys, I'm afraid of leaving these symbols or whatever they're called because he seems to get a little confused when there's too many of them because he's dealing with not only the words, but he's also dealing with the symbols, but also symbols have double, triple, quadruple meaning in coding, so, well, in the case that some of them are text and some of them are not. Some of them are literal and some of them are strings, some of them are objects. It could mean multiple things. So let's keep it as clear as possible. I'm just going to take off these symbols. I'm going to press enter, and I already highlighted what I want him to trigger. Press enter, and here we go. Usually he takes a couple of seconds. If he takes a lot longer than that, then that means that he's stuck somewhere. Okay, so here we go. So he says, I'm going to apply both triggers together. Keep the existing expand script.start block and append the 7-part sandbox recipe under its use like this section so it becomes practice ready. So then he says, I'll quickly read your save trigger definition for sandbox and expanded bullet so the inserted structure and labels match your exact format. Great. He said, I found the trigger format. Next, I'll patch the existing scripts that start expansion by adding the required 7 sections. Sandbox recipe directly under its use like this section. Okay. So apply both together in your script. Great. What I changed? Kept the existing expanded block for script.start. So he kept the first trigger that we ran. He added the full sandbox recipe. So this little meme or whatever you want to call this image that you see here is the recipe in a tube. The recipe is in the tube. All right. So yeah. You go figure. So sandbox recipe as a nested sub bullet under use like this on run scaffold. Added the full scaffold. So okay, good. So use the required 7-section sandbox order. So the goal, the HTML pane, the CSS pane, the JavaScript pane, what you should see if it doesn't work, bonus experiment. I placed it directly in here. Great. So we're gonna go ahead and keep it because I vetted it. Like I say, you have to vet it, your user agent's response all the time. And this is the whole purpose of me telling you that you should read your chat panel and then go to your transcript if you're following my steps of learning how to code the right way so it can stick in here. That this is the way to go. You could watch your YouTube video, you could read articles, you could have your 40, 60 year retiree in Java, C++ guide or mentor tell you these things, but it's not the same as you put in the hard work. I never had a mentor, by the way. Anyways, here we go with the sandbox part. This could be quite challenging, even to me. Yeah, it probably is gonna be challenging because yeah, but let's make it work. So here we go. So it says here we're gonna open token sandbox blank dash sandbox.html, and then we're gonna follow these steps, right? Don't copy more than the snippet above, right? He says don't copy more than the snippet above. The problem is I don't see the snippet. And let's see what snippet he's talking about. Everything else typed from the description. So go build a tiny page that mirrors your index.html. Reset that SAS scaffold. Look so you can compare it to what parcel server does after npm run start. So basically we're gonna recreate what we're doing here without a server, but the final output, which is gonna be the display of your application. We haven't even started building an application. We haven't even, let me see, we haven't even added the source files or the source folder. But just so you get a taste of how my triggers work, we're gonna go ahead and follow this. All right, so we're gonna build a tiny page that mirrors your index.html, reset that SAS, scaffold, look so you can compare it to what parcel serves after npm run start. See, if you don't read it correctly, it's not gonna make sense. I put the word server instead of serves. Scaffold look so you can compare it to what parcel server after no is what parcel serves after npm run start. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the HTML pane. We're gonna create the main. We're gonna create one main ID app element. with the text learn JavaScript scaffold. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into the sandbox. So if you guys don't know what a sandbox is, let me go ahead and enlighten you. Give me 6 Oh, it's not in my cache yet. Oh, it's blank. Okay. Blank. Sandbox. Hopefully, no. Oh, here it is. So I have one here, but I wonder if it's gonna run. It's not gonna run because I haven't started it. So one way I could open my, oh, there's not a sandbox in here. So let's go ahead and copy it from my previous projects, from my other project. So I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and press Control Shift, no, Control P, and blank sandbox. I don't think it's in here. No, it's not in here. It's in my other, it's in my other project. I don't think we have a sandbox folder here either. Nope, we don't have a sandbox in here. All right, cool. So let me go ahead and open new window. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna go in here and I'm gonna go to recent. And I'm gonna go and open learn JavaScript. No, that's not where it's at. It probably is. No, I'm gonna go ahead and go to VS Coding. This is one of the projects that I've been working in. I'm gonna go ahead and find my sandbox project to test my coding skills. So blank, there you go. That's the one I was talking about. So we're gonna go in here. Doesn't matter which one. I just want to get the information that I need. Right. So this is the token on Sandbox. So we need this whole we need this folder. I wonder what's the CSS for this though. Let me look at my index. Yeah. Let me look at the top over here. Where is the CSS? Let me look over here. No export. So this is not ECMAScript. Where is it at the bottom? So ECMAScript, what ECMAScript does is that it gives us the ability to export and import files from one or be able to communicate so these files can communicate. You put export up here and then you put import wherever you want, whatever file you want to get the information from here to the new file. I'm trying to figure out what CSS is using. And I believe is using, I'm gonna go ahead and prompt him because I'm getting tired now. So the more tired you get, the harder it is for you to figure things out. He's using ECMAScript? No. Is it? Let me ask him. Is this ECMAScript? Is this ECMAScript? Or is it? I don't remember. ECMAScript. Now he's thinking he might go a little deeper because ECMAScript deals with a variety of files. Yes, that is JavaScript, and JavaScript is the language implementation of ECMAScript standard. In your HTML blank, this line script blank loads a classic JavaScript file, not a module script. So you can think of it as ECMAScript standard. So where is it? Where is the app loader? Wait, where's the import? Where is the import and export? code. Let me see if he could figure this out for me. This is what I like to call a learning moment. I'll quickly check the reference JavaScript file so I can tell you exactly where it uses module import export class script style. I confirm this sandbox file is a classic script. So there's no module import in it right now. I'll print you where import export already exists in your project and how to switch this sandbox if you want modules here. So he's saying that it's a classic script. Okay. The script and loads a classic script file. The loaded file uses regular DOM code and does not use module script. You already have import export in your app file. Let me look at this one real quick. Let me see though. Let me look at this one. All right. So another question. I want to take this with me, and in order for me to do that, I want to take this file with me. So I'm gonna click Reveal in File Explorer. It reveals it, and then I'm gonna take this folder, this one, Control Copy, and I'm gonna go to my recent project, which is this one, and I'm gonna go ahead and paste it in here. So now I have the token sandbox. Now I'm gonna click this one, and then I'm gonna right click with the HTML, blank sandbox.html, and I'm gonna open in live server. Let's see how it works. So it worked, perfect. So basically, I thought it needed a CSS. Oh, it's inline. That's why. It's inline CSS. So guys, if you don't know what inline CSS, this is it that you're looking at. You have two languages and one file. You have CSS, which is cascading style sheet, and you have HTML in the same. In this, I don't like when I shrink like this. I feel like I'm in the Beetlejuice movie. Keep going lower and lower and lower. So yeah, it's inline. You got HTML and you have CSS. You can actually put the JavaScript in here, but this is not it becomes quite cluttered after a while, so it's difficult to find the code you're looking for when everything is in one page. While you can actually move this into different folders and files, it's actually a lot more readable. There's a terminology for that too, I don't recall. We'll figure that out as we move along. This is not going to be the first nor the last video I'm going to make. God willing. Okay, so now it opened up. So now we're going to go ahead and follow our recipe. And our recipe, I believe, is in here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into build a tiny page that mirrors your index and reset.css. All right, so let's do it. So the first thing we want to do is go to the HTML pane. We're going to create a element. All right, it's going to be called main ID app. So we're going to copy this. We're going to go in here. We're going to paste it in here. Then we have to close it, right? So in order to close it in here. All right, so now I prefer doing this in an actual HTML file structure, so I can make sure I don't get any errors. So we're gonna name it with the text. We're gonna give it the text of learn JavaScript scaffold, and you could easily, let me press C. You could no Control Y. You could. It's probably more under. You can understand it a lot better if I do it. Put it like this. See. So main ID is an attribute and it has an attribute value of app. Okay. So an ID is basically a DOM selector of some sort that you can use to then select select this element in JavaScript, and then give it action in JavaScript. JavaScript, the whole purpose of JavaScript is to give your website movement, life. And then CSS gives it um colors, it gives it like height and width and stuff like that. All right. Again, we could go into this in a much deeper examples, but right now that's not the whole point. The whole point is to learn how to use my triggers, okay? So I'm just gonna give you lame examples because I'm not ready to give you guys a full-fledged super duper expert professional example. Again, we're learning, and that's the whole point, and we're gonna make it work, okay? So now we're gonna go ahead and go to the CSS, and we're gonna give it a body. No, in the body, we're gonna give it a margin of 0. So CSS, we're gonna go here. I might create this application, the Sandbox, for it to do auto correct or auto telesense. So in here, we're going to go ahead and, which is a rule. This is a CSS rule. We're gonna declare a property because we're gonna add, we're gonna initialize it and assign it a value. So it's the declaration for the first time. And it's gonna be margin 0, right? Margin 0. Make sure you have to put a semicolon here. If not, it won't work. Did you notice that? How that worked? Control X. You see? So margin 0. So margin, just in case if you don't know what that is, margin is the outside of the container. And then you got padding, it's the inside of the container. So the outside of the container, it looks like this because it has a margin of, I don't know what. We could actually right click here, go to inspect, and the DevTools in Google Chrome is going to give me that information, I believe. If I can only get a good view of it, you know? It's usually around here, the intersection where I can, here it is. So now the styles of this right here, we're gonna click this so we could become a pointer. Click this. I thought it gave me well, usually, so this is the browser's default margin, and I believe it's usually 16 pixels. So just so you know, let me X this out, but it should tell me body. I could easily ask my guy right here. I could ask him to figure it out for me. This is a user agent. There's agents everywhere. I believe you should use them all. So what is the margin for the body? Is it the default browser margin of 16 pixels? Yeah, ask him this. And he could get very technical, and that technicality can get quite confusing. The margin for the body, oh, 0, because that's what I set it to. No, wait a minute. Is 0 on all sides as shown in the computed style. This means it's not using the default browser, which is 8 pixels. The style indicates that the margin has been explicitly overridden. Common practice. I haven't done so. But whatever. I think, yeah, it has in the cache set, I believe it has margin 0. But actually the default browser property of margin is 8 pixels. So now what we're going to do is by adding that piece of code that I'm going to add here in the CSS is going to remove the browser default value. So let me X this out. Again, let me see, Control V, that's perfect. So now, as you can see it moved. So great. So now we're gonna go back to our recipe, Sandbox Recipe, right? So the browser default spacing is removed, matching your reset.css. Great, it's matching this. I could show you where this is located, but I don't think it's necessary. It's just a reset.sas. So it's called reset because it resets the browser's default values when it comes to styles, that is. So intent, or I didn't read the whole sentence. Remove matching your reset SAS intent. Okay, so now in the body we're going to add a background. We're going to take this, control copy. So now in here, in the same rule, we're going to add this, and now we have black background. Now we can't see nothing. Isn't that amazing? But we highlighted, it's still there. Now we're going to give it a color of white, in this case, the text. This is what that code means. And we're going to paste it inside the body. And now it's white. Oh, see? This is the problem. It 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 negated all this. It is not reading it because semicolon. See? Semicolon. Very important. Since you're beginning to program in code, or if you're not, make sure your semicolons are in place. But as a beginner, you're gonna make this mistake, and that's why. You get used to it. It happens. To match the scaffold contract you expect from your current set of nodes. So in the body, again, we're going to go ahead and add a sans serif font family. And the computer version too. There you go. See how that changed? Isn't that amazing? This is why I love coding. I'm creating stuff. Simple stuff. Which I didn't create. Because I didn't. This is, you can't reinvent the wheel. Somebody else created this, but now you're learning how to create it yourself. All right, so the preview text feels like your starter project baseline. So in the JavaScript pane, we're gonna add the line that logs app loaded to mirror the app.js, then leave the rest empty. So basically, the app.js, right? For some reason, why would he just tell me to add app loaded? Oh, okay. It's not even gonna do anything. Let me put this here so that happens. Yes, this is not going to do it because that's not JavaScript. It's not even a variable. It's not a function. It's not a method. It's not a parameter. It's not an argument. What is it? It's just plain text. Great. Then leave the rest empty. What you should see, a dark full page background. Here's the dark full page background. By the way, guys, this is the final results. Captain Obvious over here. Captain Obvious knows what he's on. So that's definitely the that's what it looks like. White text that reads learn JavaScript Scaffold. Here it is, the white text. Okay, guys. And then no default white margin around the page edges. A console message confirming that the JS pane ran. So let's see if that's true. No console message confirmed the JS line has quotes around app and check browser console filtering. Oh, I gotta add a console log. Oh, Jesus, I'm such a lame programmer. First of all, console log goes like this. That log. Lame-o. I'm doing perfectly fine. We're doing perfectly fine. And then I don't think yeah, parentheses. So now, all I have to do here, we have, in order to test the JavaScript part, you can't do nothing here until you right click and go to inspect or you press F12. Now, if you go to the console, you should get a printout. App loaded, app loaded. That's what we put in here. That means that the app, there's a connection or that it's working. Right? What does he say here? Add one line that logs app loaded to mirror, then leave, right? So we should see a console message confirming the JS pane ran. So it's just confirming that this pane or panel is running right here. All right, guys, I think that's all the energy I have left. I don't know. We still have to go into the, yeah, I'm not gonna do the bonus experience. You guys take care of that. So why this choice? Putting the command behind script that starts a voice, memorizing long command line interface flags. We already went through this. So it also standardizes local startup. Okay. So that side note terminology, we already went through that. Phrasing verdict, we went through that. There was the other one. Where's the, he didn't do it. No, he did not run both commands as I expected him to. So now I'm gonna have to vet it this situation. No npm, yeah, we already read that. So here, expand bullet and then there you go. Together, right? But he didn't do the verdict. I think. Oh no. The verdict one is this one now, guys. I'm gonna run this last. Well, this is for tonight. This is gonna be the one where we go night night, go to sleep, and rest. If you don't rest, you're not gonna be able to code correctly. What time is it now? It's 12:33 a.m. So New York time. That's why I have like that New York slang personality. Don't be a hater. I love you too. Anyway, so all right, so expand terminology. So I'm press enter and now nope, stop. Stop this. I have to first select what I want it to trigger or expand. In this case is this code right here or command script. And we're gonna go ahead and expand the terminology. Let me drink some water. Uh-oh. It looks like it's I'm lagging a little bit. Still says that I'm at 60 FPS, but is in the red. No. All right, I'm looking at my second screen. I don't have a desk currently, just on top of my bed. Yeah, poor is in the word. So we're gonna keep it. I already know how this works. So the only one of the portions I want you to focus on is this portion. And let me go ahead and update my HTML. I'm gonna print the document. So now I go over here, right? And then I'm gonna right click it, open in live server. We're gonna go to that section, which is here. So this is the sign note. No, this is, yeah. So this is sign note terminology snapshot. So this is actually the anatomy breakdown terminology reference table. So it breaks down the anatomy of that code block or line of code, right? In this case, it's a script. So we're gonna break down the anatomy, right? So basically, so here it is. So JavaScript, JSON, and package.json. So the token script, what this means is object member name JSON string key dot ECMA 404. I'm not sure what that means. This is a variable name. No, that's wrong. This is the correct way of explaining this, the correct name. And then start is the object member name. All right, ECMA script. It's the key. They're both keys. Okay. Now this is name value separator. Okay. So you see what I mean. Keep listening or keep reading. Colon delimiter. The delimiter. So parcel index.html dash opens JSON string value. So this is a key. This is the key value pair. This is the value. All right, like it says right here, this is the key and this is the value. Command text consumed by npm script runner. That's what it consumes. We just gave it a new we initialized it and assigned it. We assigned this to start. So now we have build. Build is the same thing. Object name. And it's a key. And then we got the value, which is this one right here. Okay, so that's the whole point of the of that trigger. You're always gonna get information like this. And then it has a whole bunch of key points. I wonder why I bring it over here. Let me see. Is there two of them? Nope. It's just go. That's just the way it's supposed to look. All right, guys. So thank you for joining me. I will see you in the next video, in the next live stream. If you guys want to see the shorter version, most likely I'm either gonna edit this video or I'm just gonna create a new one without the transcript. You guys, let me know. Have a little vote. Thank you so much for joining me. See you guys on the next video.